Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joel Duggan and we're in Minecraft. Today we're going to pick up where we left off in the command center, working on the top floor design for this wing. We've got 4 wings in total, so we don't have to copy what we're doing to the other ones, but I wanted to get a good sense of how to construct everything. And we're going to have lots of room, which is cool. We have lots of room to decorate, which is also challenging because there's a lot of details in sci-fi and I don't quite know yet how I'm going to fit everything in. I'm looking at doing some maps with some custom art, so we'll see what we can do there. Dan Grice subscribing at tier 1, 59 months, coming up on a big 6-0. That's amazing, Dan. Thanks so much for the subscription and the support. SweetSandi, of course, is here, as is Nadila, and I know Cosmic is going to be lurking in the background too. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday so far. I am full of pancakes and ready for Minecraft, so let's just dive in. So first things first, we need some quartz. Try to get better at doing this periodically throughout the stream today. But I know at around this time of day in the game, it's easy to get multiple passes with these villagers. We'll be back to get more of the XP orbs anyway. So that's a stack in 8, so we should be able to get 2 stacks in 16, I think. Provided I don't run out of iron. I think I'm going to be putting more villagers around. I just don't know what else I should trade for. I feel like if I can fit a small iron farm in here somewhere, that would probably be a good idea. Because otherwise I just have to go get the iron from somewhere else, but I don't know, I could probably do both. I think that's it. Yep. 2 rounds is all you get until they reset. Unless I start early, I guess. Cool. Yep, 2 stacks and 16. I was expecting the stream this early. It's an hour earlier than usual. Yes, yeah. I let my mods know, but I've got a lot to do today, so I just decided to get out and start doing some stuff. So this is where we left off on the inside of this the other day, and I'm pretty happy with it. I like these kind of floating console things. I don't know if I want just one or if I want to have 2, you know, like one here and then a separate one there. So we'll play around with that. But I do still find the ceiling a little dark, so I think I'm going to try to put a skylight in here, and that's going to affect the design on the outside. So we'll figure that out. And I don't think I'm going to put one there. First thing I need to do is, while I've got all this inventory space, I need to move all these shulkers. They need to go, I guess, out here for now. We're going to have to move them eventually. So we should probably clear a lot of this up. And I guess some of this stuff can end up going in my ender chest, I think. Let's put the furnace underneath that. Stone. That's just a gray shulker for spare stuff. Cool. Sitting Stan, hello. How's it going? Love how the deck is looking. Always fun to have to leave before the stream ends, and the next stream you can see how the design changed. That's cool. Yeah, I never thought about that. Like if you're not here for the whole thing, that makes sense. So we're gonna need some glass. I think we've got blue glass windows. Maybe blue stained glass for the skylight as a start. I wish we were able to put panes, glass panes horizontally, but we cannot, which is too bad. It's this or white. Either way, I definitely need to dye some more glass. I'm just going to bring the dyes up, I think. We always use a lot of those. I guess we'll just use regular glass in terms of the depth. And I should make it here. I think it's going to be 3 wide, but I guess we'll probably start it about there. Go to the hit here. Loving the sight of sci-fi in Minecraft. I've tried a couple of times myself, but not successfully assisting Sin. Well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, we're doing okay, I think. So I'm not sure if this is going to stay, because I wanted to have some sort of runway up here, but maybe that's going to start back there. I mean, that helps with how dark it is up here. Ooh, I think... I don't know, that's tough. I might want to see what cyan looks like too. The white kind of disappears a little bit. I like the way that it looks though. I think it has to be... I think it has to be darker. I think I like the tint. This makes things look a little bit pale and it matches the sky a little bit too much, whereas this feels more like a tint. Let's try the grays. So I like the cyan out of those three the best. So we'll go light gray here. That's probably going to be having the same problem as the white, but the dark gray might be better. I feel like the cyan is going to match the tuff better. So the grays also kind of disappear. So I guess we go with cyan. I also want to see what this would look like if we do another one here. Curious if something darker here would work. We'll try black just in case. The horizontal glass panes, yes, that's what I was saying yesterday, so I wish we could do that. Oh, I didn't catch that yesterday. That almost looks blue in context. No, I think the color, like this just looks like a weird shadow, whereas this you can kind of tell that there's something there. I think we're going to end up putting some slabs around it or something to help with some depth on the top. Now these may not stay as tough slabs, but I think we'll get most of the way there. We may have to change the windows here on the sides to cyan. I wonder what this would look like if it had a shape to it. Terrible. Good to know. Yeah, that helps a little bit. Gives the impression that that's a lot thicker than just one block. So I might end up changing this when we go to decorate the actual roof, but I think what we need to do is get more slabs up top. We'll actually connect these. One, two, three, four, five, six. I think that should be okay. Probably gonna fill this part in. I keep on thinking that I need to have an elevator, but this is going to be the roof. I'm not sure if there's going to be. I really need to think about the third floor, the top floor in the middle here. I feel like we could maybe leave these with a gap. We'll be wanting to put things like antenna and a bunch of stuff up here too. That sort of looks like an intentional pattern. Maybe not this one in the end. Yeah, certainly helps with the brightness in here. Don't think I want to have them here. I feel like there's enough lights down here that it's probably okay. I'm curious now about that cyan panel. Or pane, I should say. I need to smelt some more sand. This will suck if I like it better because we've got to replace all of these on all the wings because they're all light blue. I'm sure we'll be able to find another use for light blue stained glass. Don't know that it's that different. I think the light blue you might be able to see a little bit better. I think it makes the view a little bit too dark, and that might be the deciding factor. It's less about how it looks on the building and more that the light blue doesn't really change the color. It doesn't mute the color of the outside as much, whereas the cyan does. Which works well for when we were looking straight at the sky, but here I think we'd want less of a change. Like I said, I'm sure I tried that before. Alright, so now we're down here. I think I want to try and work out these windows first. And the idea is that the windows are going to want to be... I think the top of them needs to be at least in line. I want to say both the bottom and the top should be in line. I think that looks sharper. So we'll try that one. That means that this has got to be... could be higher. 106. I'll build it up with some stone first. That's the window. I don't think I want this to be 3 blocks tall. I think this would be too much. Yeah. So this is going to stay the same height. And then, I don't know, maybe we have another ledge near the window. Let's get some diorite stairs, maybe? Now that I think is centered on the outside. No. So it's got more room there. We have to figure out how this bulkhead is going to work too, because we've got dark here. I like the cyan on the bottom, I think. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Oh, those are slabs, I guess. Terracotta colors don't match the names they get? Yeah, 100%. Four there. We'll try them set back here just to see if they look better that way. And the concrete is going to go in the floor, I think. Which do we like better? I think I like seeing the stairs. Plus it gives us more room up top. Hmm. Lord Andy, thanks very much for the sub. Appreciate the support. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Cheers. 18 months, my gosh. That's awesome. That's a tough call. I think I like that one better. There's a hole there. I'd want to have some sort of decorative strip here. Probably more of the cyan terracotta if I can. Not sure about that. This bulkhead thing is going to have to be redesigned. We might end up with polished stuff being a little bit further back. This is not going to be here. I'd like to try to widen the window if I can. Although, I guess I could always fix that on the other side too. Realizing that the numbers aren't centered either. Does this even have a center? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, it does. Okay. So ideally, I'd like to widen the window. Moira, hello. Thanks for the lurk. So this feels a little funny. A little multicolored. I'm not crazy about this. I feel like that looks better. Yeah. Yeah, the numbers could move. The numbers are temporary. Like, I'm not even sure if I'm keeping them. I'm not sure if that's the same color or style I'm going to use. The numbers are only on this one wing. I haven't decided if I'm going to do numbers, what numbers I'm going to use, all that kind of stuff. I almost want this to be all dark. But no, that would look funny. So all this is going to be slabs. Sometimes you just have to commit to one side and see what it looks like. I think it might be better if it was a straight line. I thought from the top it might look cool. This came out at an angle. And I think from a high vantage point it looks alright, but I think on the ground it looks a little funny. Although, I don't know. I'm tempted to replace this one too. This feels a little strange. I wonder if we could use a stair there. No, that doesn't work. Probably not. Hey Nadila, how's it going? Ooh, my coffee is cold. So I'm realizing that this is all exterior wall, and we may not want that to be what we see in here. So this window could be a lot deeper. The window doesn't have to be right there. We could actually move it in a little bit, which could be fun because that means we could maybe light the window somehow. I don't know if I want that quartz to run all the way to the wall or not. Feel like I'd want to break it up. Yeah, it's gonna need something. We do that, we maybe do that a little bit closer to the window. But then this is going to need something to break it up. That could work. It might be better just to have everything is cyan. This is probably not going to stay then. We got rid of it here. That design element is actually not part of the floor anymore. I feel like I'd want to make these windows deeper. If I had a third line, I could put some lights underneath them. That does not leave a lot of room up top, though. No. Not bad. I might want to move these over. Oh, they weren't bad the way that they were. Yeah, I kind of like that. And that gives us room to do something here if we want. Don't think I'd want to go right to the ground, but could potentially. Thanks for the heads up, Sandy. Appreciate it. I mean, maybe we don't do the lights, maybe we do signs or something. Oh, we'd have to put glass in front of that. Crap. I don't know where the roof is in here. My guess is that it has to be at least a block above this. Probably a little bit taller. I'd imagine by the time it gets into here, it's going to be a little bit taller. But again, tough is very easy to put in and remove, so we'll do that after the break. If you're new to the channel, I take a break once an hour. It gives me a chance to get some more coffee, maybe a snack. You can do the same. Maybe grab a friend, let them know that we're streaming. And if you're watching this later on Joel Duggan VODs on YouTube, then it's a good opportunity to like the video if you're enjoying it, and maybe even subscribe to the channel. I'll be right back. Low 88 with the Prime sub, 28 months in a row. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. And Nadila with 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 bits. That's amazing. Thanks very much. Now we're going to grab some more quartz while we're down here. Since it's dark, might as well. Because we're using mostly slabs, we're not going through quartz quite as fast, but we're about to do a lot with the smooth quartz, and that tends to go quicker. So with these quartz bits, we want to have at least a slab showing. And looks like we're planning on at least that on this side. We didn't get that far. So we'll put in a solid block, I guess. It's going to have to be a solid block, I think, because it's much taller. Yeah. And then we have to toss in a temporary roof line. Probably just using these. At least for now. I feel like this pattern is probably going to continue. Grab some slabs too. Whoop, almost jumped off the edge. We have to go get some more tuff soon. So what we'll probably do is keep this pattern and then maybe we'll offset it to 3. I did 4 there for some reason. You know it's a tall building when you have that long to decide that you have to fly. So then this goes up another step. So we'll probably try and pull that in a little bit. And I think I'd want this to be in 3 blocks as well. that's going to affect that. Okay. I think that's a good structure so far. We just need to continue it down a little bit farther. And then this would be in here. All right, so that shows me about where I need to go vertically here. So I'd like to also have some lights in here. Hey Mikatu, the building's coming along pretty well. We're at the stage where we gotta have to bounce inside and outside to make sure we make the right measurements. MindTripMedia with a lurk and 1,000 bits. Thanks very much, MindTrip. Great to see you. Hope you're having a good weekend. Appreciate the lurk. So on this door, we did some more detailed stuff on the bottom. Here, it's less of a door and more of just like an archway. More like these. We should probably put some lights in there, would be my guess. We need to have a quick way up here. Oh, that's the outside, I think. Technically, I guess we'll revisit that. So these don't have to be diorite, because that's the outside wall. So the inside wall could be something else if we wanted it to be. I don't think I want this to be here too. No. We could have lights here too. The walls in here are tough with a quartz top. We could potentially do that without the depth. If we do that, I'd want to have something more neutral on the bottom. And we're not really planning for a lot of depth here, so we have to be careful of that. It might be better to have this as a quartz window. I don't think you're going to notice that from the outside. A little bit, but not by much. Constantly thinking more lights? Yeah, me too. If I do stairs there, I feel like I need to have stairs up here too. The other thing is that this doesn't have to stay diorite. We could change that to be a different material if we wanted to. But I kind of like the smoothness of it. We just end up seeing it here. So this to me kind of clashes, so we may have to see what we can do. It's not bad though. Yeah, I like that look. but not so much this one. So maybe this just has to go up a little bit higher. And as much as I like the lights, I think I prefer this smoother part. Maybe we just don't do lights on every block. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. It's hard to tell with the sun out right now. Now, what are we going to do with the ceiling? I think this has to be a different kind of bulkhead, maybe. It's too bad because I really like the quartz and the cyan together. Well, let's try, rather than ripping this down, let's build out the other side. This was just quartz slabs. We had 3, 1, 2, 3. Smooth and cyan. Oh, wait a minute. I wanted to change this to keepsake. Kuya BTB rating. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. We've got Lemon Lambda. We've got Kuya bringing our family over to yours. Big Bro Ray. That's awesome. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. I like the Pizza Heart. Is it a Pizza Heart or is it roses? It looks like pizza. Cheers. Welcome in, folks. Let me sleep so you can see what we're doing. It is pizza. Okay, cool. I'm always thinking with my stomach. Welcome in, folks. We are working on the top floor of one of the big wings of our command center. We're trying to do some sci-fi consoles and some skylights and some lighting and stuff. And we did all this Thursday. And then we're working on this other room out here, which has got these two sort of floors up on either side. Some kind of base lighting, and then we're working on trying to figure out how this all connects to the roof, because we've got several of these and it's a pretty big build. So we've been trying to figure out how this roof is going to gradually taper up into something a little bit larger, and then we've got this to repeat 4 times. And as you can see, we're on a big mushroom island. And as an idea, so you can see what the inspiration is, that is the reference that we were using just as inspiration. So there's a little bit more to go height-wise. We might not go exactly that high. Let's see if I move over. No, this way. That's not bad. So that's the idea. And inside of these things, we are doing things like our storage room. Obviously, we've got a lot of shulkers up here, but down here we've got shulkers and some other storage back here. And then on the other one that we finished, we've got a villager trading setup for quartz. Speaking of, I should probably go get some. If you're new to the channel, my name is Joel Duggan. I do streaming and podcasting full time. You might recognize my voice from the Spawn Chunks podcast. And that is a weekly show that we do every Monday, all about Minecraft. I feel like I just threw iron at that guy. I probably didn't have enough room for emeralds. Did I? Is there emerald? There is iron back there. There we go. I think that's how it was. So we can get about a stack and 8 every time we do this. I like the floor in the other room better. I think that we're going to run into the same issue if I do that. Let's put you there. But if we can go through twice, we get 2 stacks and 16. Yeah, inventory issues. I mean, it's full of quartz. Could be worse. Not hard to tell that I've done this a few times. Okay, what were you doing on stream today, Kuya? Folks in my chat, please go check out Kuya. There was a shout out from Sandy in the chat. You can go and follow on Twitch. Guess I have to fill the rest of these in. I don't think I want to do this with diorite, but we'll give it a go. Oh, that doesn't work. You have to go higher. I prefer the vertical. We're going to have to come up with a different way of handling the ceiling. Started with a little coding and then switched to collecting deep slate. Very cool. All right, so I don't like this. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do the quartz. Oops. Starting to learn Python. Goal is to build a Minecraft text game for chat. Oh, that's cool. I was going to learn a little bit of coding earlier this year. I was messing around with something with ChatGPT and trying to code a little app that would allow me to automatically input the notes that I take at the gym for my workouts and put them into a spreadsheet for me automatically. Because I didn't want to change what I was doing. Like I didn't want to change to a different document at the gym. I just wanted to continue to use the Notes app and then just be able to hit a button, have an app read the Notes app, and then put it into a spreadsheet. But it was not as easy as it, or at least not as easy as I thought it should have been. Oh, okay. In the last year, not in 2026. It was the fall, I think. So this is still very dark. Yeah, I agree with you, Nadila. I learned to do website coding way back in the day, but everything has changed since then. Not crazy about this, so we'll move this. No, that doesn't work either. Kind of like the idea of having some pillars. That's not the end of the world. I have to move this. It looks a little bit weird, but All right, so if that's going to be there, we need to have, I think this needs to be double thick. And that would probably help here too. Yeah. And then whatever we're doing along this wall, I guess I'll grab some cyan for now. Oh, that's great concrete. Where's my cyan? I don't think that's exactly what I want to do, but the geometry is probably pretty close. I don't think that the diorite is external. No. Right, so that gave us a little bit of room, but not much. That's still going to be exposed ceiling, I think. Because if we want any lights in here, they're going to have to be on that level there. It's a pretty long room. I kind of like the idea of having long lights as opposed to horizontal lights. What if we did 3? That's that. Skip 1. So we've got that. Skip a space. Light. And we've got... I didn't mean to fall off. Space of 3. They would be on this space, I guess. Then we'd have to have glass over them. I don't know. Maybe the ceiling in here is dark. Like maybe we do... I don't know. The problem here is that I really need to figure out what the roof is doing. One of my favorite things about this build is how some areas mirror others without being the same. Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, I that's the artist experience of me, bringing shape, language, and design over into Minecraft for sure. So I'm thinking like one long light panel there. I might want to move it over a little bit. The issue is I'd want to put glass in front of that. Like if those are frog lights, imagine those are frog lights. And I put glass down, then that means that the ceiling here is going to be black. Well, deep slate, which is like a dark gray. But I could bring in another one of those bulkheads. I like this, but I may not be able to keep it. I may have to switch. I just really like the quartz and the cyan together. I think it looks cool. I really wish we had something like something vertical that we could put that's sub-block. You know, like putting stairs sideways or something. Because I'll tell you what I like. Part of the inspiration for some of this stuff. So stuff like this. And what you can't do in Minecraft easily without maps are these like blue lines, like these highlight lines that go down the middle of things. These vertical things are really difficult to do. Really easy to do in Satisfactory, but very hard to do in Minecraft. You'd have to do an entire map art thing, which is a pain. I need to take a closer look at Impulse SV's latest because he did a really cool interior view on his thumbnail for his command center, so I want to try and do that. We, without knowing it, we're both kind of doing these big sci-fi base builds at the same time. I say we, I mean like we're sort of, he's been on the podcast a couple of times. So I would, two people working in the Minecraft space at similar scales, I guess, in terms of the builds. I like that last picture. Which one? The dark one? That one? That I think is right from Star Wars, or from somebody trying to copy Star Wars. Might be from a Star Wars. Excuse me, might be from a Star Wars video game. But yeah, these panels here are very Imperial. That's something that you see in the Imperial bases all the time. I want to do a map that has that panel on it. That idea. That would be cool. Yeah, I think I like the stairs back a bit. Just more room. I'm not digging the stripe, so we'll have to fix that. I think the light would look cool. The issue is going to be, what does that mean for the ceiling, or the roof rather? Yeah, the iron bars, we tried that earlier when I was messing around with different stuff, and the iron bars don't really do what you think they do. I mean, they could if I retextured them or added like a mod or a model or something like that, but What I'm trying to do here. Oh, I've got tough here. Cool. So if that's lights, then there would have to be at least slabs along here. Which is fine. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing if that thing gets a block taller or a half block taller. I really like how long and flat this profile is, but even in the concept art, that one, it gets a little bit thicker as it gets closer to the middle. And I've not had it rise up very much here. And I feel like it probably goes a little bit higher than like this little spot there. Which would illuminate this little ring as well. So that's doable. If those were frog... No, wait a minute. That would be the glass. Yeah, I'd have to go up another block. 2 blocks. Because the glass would be... Yeah, the glass would end up being there. I would want this to have an edge. I don't want it to just go up into the ceiling. I don't think. I mean, it goes down to the floor. There's nothing to say that I can't have whatever ceiling texture I want here. Thanks for the break reminder, Sandy. Appreciate it. We could continue with the not deep slate, with the tough. All right, let's try that here. And then we'll cover this up. No, I was so close to finishing. So that means that that's going to come up like that. So then this is going to need to be like this. Now imagine this was longer. It would go the whole length of the room. But then these would need to be covered up. So at the minimum, I would have to have stairs or something around here. It does start to eat away at the shape that I like. A little bit. It stops this. It's starting to feel not as flat. I mean, I get if we kept it low, like all the way back here, it might be okay. But we've got to cover the top too. You can see how that would look really cool. That brings that up quite significantly. Which, I mean, I don't know, maybe that's a good thing. The other option would be to not have... oh no, wait a minute. I've done that backwards. I'll do the other side and I'll do it a block lower and see if that's a little bit more palatable. Anyway, I'm going to grab that break. Coffee needs to be heated up and you all need to... I say need to. It would be cool if you could go let a friend know that we're streaming. I'll be right back. So I'd like to try and figure out this roof because it's definitely a puzzle for me right now. We'll do lower glass on the other side. Thank you, folks. Ooh. So here the glass would be lower. It'd be here. Which means that this would be the max height. Not much of a difference down here. I don't really mind that so much. I would probably switch the ceiling to be deep slate. We could also make it lighter. We could make it quartz. Like we did in there. I think I need to take this to the edge to see what's up. Like, I don't need all this space. I don't need it to be this tall, but I kind of like the way that the doors look. Oh, this would climb up a little bit. How did I do this on the other side? I changed this, I think. Yeah, it's 3 in. So right from here, it goes 2, 2, and then 3. Right, 2, 2, and then 3. but eventually it has to get up to this top level. That's pretty steep. We're better off to do it over here, I think. And I would probably keep this 3, 6, 9. Yeah, I think already I'm going to have to go with the lower side. What are we going to do with the floor out here? So then we'd have to probably go down in steps, get to here. We've got how many blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But a height difference of, I have to go in sections of 2, I guess. Oh, nope. Sections of 1. That is a lot steeper than I would like it to be. It's still flatter than the other one, though. Like if I remove this. You see the 2 height differences when I get over here. I feel like that helps keep it at least a little bit more flat. And it doesn't have to be a full block, it could be a slab. We could just slab over it. But I kind of want to be able to leave this open as a potential to land on, and I feel like a slab would not be the best for that. In terms of like the block selection, you really limit yourself with the block selection if it's going to be a slab. But it could still be a slab until the middle. Those are huge lights. So that's going to have some arc to it. But we're not going to see that because that's going to get covered up. For now, we'll use tough. And if we mimic the pattern in the floor here, 3 in the middle, 3 out here, that should be okay too. Not flat is a more interesting roof. Yeah, it's more about the profile. Like I more want it to be not a flat roof, but a long flat shape overall. Nice. I had a tuna melt the other day. I make my own sourdough now, and so tuna or grilled cheese on sourdough is fantastic. All right, well, let's tear out the other side because we know it's not going to be that tall. The other thing, I could just make these skylights, but then at nighttime it would be super dark. Do we want this to be a slightly bigger? Probably not. No. Okay, so we've got that much done. Wife was making sourdough as well. Been thinking of starting to learn how to work with sourdough. We usually take a few weeks on the road in the summertime, and I don't have to restart every time we've been away. You can just put it in the fridge. You can just put your starter in the fridge. Or you could bring it with you and just if you're feed it in the tricky part, which is making sure it's not getting too warm, but take it with you. Sounds like a fun experiment. Yeah. Here's the thing. You could start it while you're on the road because like your home versus the, wild yeasts and bacteria that you'll get when you're out and about could be very different. Have two, have a starter at home, stick it in the fridge, bring some of it with you, keep it alive, make a couple of loaves, see which one tastes better. I mean, I don't have a palate that I think I would be able to tell the difference, but some people do. I might want to make these a little farther apart by a block. Although then it would line up with the edge there, so I don't know. We'll experiment with that. This direction, we've got lots of room. So we have to figure out what we're going to do above that door. And unfortunately, we don't have stairs and slabs in terracotta. I wish we did. Not the best. All right, let's do the floor with a little bit more time that we've got left. Gonna need deep slate, stairs. Get underneath here and fill this in. This is just going to let us do some in-floor lighting. Wow, that stone is gone already. And then we add 3 and a trench of 3 and a border of 1. Yeah. I don't know if I'm doing the exact same thing, but I want to try to do something similar. What did I do for lights? Lights were kind of in between. Yeah, maybe I want to do something more like what we did downstairs. Something like that could be cool. Not with quartz, I don't think. Although I don't know. That is also centered on the stairs. Nice. Okay, cool. That works out well. That's one option. And we'd obviously put glass on top of that. And I wouldn't mind having some terracotta. Maybe here. Yeah. I think that's good. Oh, I'm out of concrete. Crap. One from each place that you visit. Yeah, I could do that too. I don't know whether the starter would pick up on that kind of stuff, but I've heard that people travel with their starters. I got mine from a friend, so it's all pretty local. I get the feeling that the average person is not going to know the difference, but it's more like a marketing bragging right. You got somebody that's a professional baker and they're like, yeah, I took my sourdough starter on vacation with me to Italy and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I would imagine it would be really hard to fly with it. Driving would be one thing. I feel like it would be very difficult to fly with a starter. I don't think they would like that very much. I imagine TSA would have a real problem. I also know that like Canada and a lot of other countries have strict rules about like what fruits and vegetables that you can bring back because of potential bugs and cross-contamination and stuff. Like it's more strict than you think. Oh, right. They've got a funny edge to them. Never mind. Doesn't quite have the same look as the black one does. Oh, purple glass. That's why. Where'd all my black glass go? There it is. I feel like maybe we have to try something like cyan. Which I do not have. Oh, there you go. Cyan or light blue, maybe? It's hard with the sun coming in. Kind of wonder if I should do the same thing as we did up top. We got a lot more room over here, though. It's the only thing. I think I like the black glass. I just don't know what I want to do on the inside. Like, do I want to go with observers or do I want to go with... I guess I would only put the one observer in. Like, do I want to do the exact same thing? Maybe without the stuff on the side. I think the black glass works. Maybe I should tie in more andesite. kind of want to shade it from the sunlight so we can see what it looks like without natural light coming in as best I can. And I need some white blocks. Temporary frog light placeholders. I've got lots of frog lights, but they take a long time to remove, and if I don't like the position of these lights, I don't want to have to like mine out all the frog lights. Save myself a little bit of time. So if that's the ceiling, I liked what I did in here with the quartz, and then we have this little trim here, so maybe we can get away with that over here too. Okay, we'll probably want to break it up a bit. So something like that. But that's going to be a very dark corner, so we have to figure out a way to get some light up there. Probably just by putting something in the wall. How did I do it over here? I think I had like lighting in the recesses, I think. It's also a much lower ceiling. Yeah, lights there. And then over here, same thing, lights in the walls. That's tricky with the outside. And what are we going to do down here? I mean, the walls being dark is not helping. I feel like that needs to be lighter. Here, of course, it's mostly window. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to have the window. I don't think I want the window to cut into. No, I don't want the window to cut into that space. I don't think I want to bring this in another block. If I did that, maybe we'd just have it be a little bit smaller. And then maybe we could bring this down. Or keep it low, but bring it out like this. Which gives us another layer here, but not one there. Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, I don't think I like that. So we get something in between to work out. Almost go with, well, yeah, I don't want to make that any darker. So that's got extra space here. So we could put a light there. Between here. Yeah. And then if we needed to put a light here, could do that. Whoops. So if we wanted to have something back there with a white background, we could. Not that this is what I'm going to do, but we could do something like that. We have room to do it. It looks really asymmetrical and weird. We could also put it there. I just have to have the room to make a different color behind the lights. It's not terrible. But something like that is what we need to illuminate the ceiling so it doesn't look so dark. Oh, thanks, Kia. We can keep the quartz here. One, two, three, four, five. So we got 5 blocks. So we could probably do something in there that could work. There's just a lot of vertical stuff, so I don't know if horizontal is what we would want to do. We might want to do something a little bit more in theme with what's going on. Same idea, just maybe something like that. This kind of goes more with the vertical lines we've got everywhere. But I think next to the window is a little bit much. We might want to put it in a space that's farther away. So if that's the window, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This goes here. And then it would have to be in this space. Just so it's not right next to the window. But then here, this would be flush. Or we could have another one. Oh, no, wait, because that's got... Yeah, can't do that. This could all be black. I don't know. I'm not sure about the stripes. Yeah, I need to wrap things up. I need to pass you along to somebody else. Playing the Minecraft. Let me know who's streaming so I can pass you along to someone you'd like to land at. I mean, we made some progress. I feel like we're getting there. I feel like I might want to not have the quartz there. I feel like we did a lot of that downstairs, and I like this, so maybe we'll just try this down there. It's easy to do, and these are smaller. I like that though. What I like about that one, that I don't like about that one, is that you can see this from standing in the middle. You can see the light. Whereas you could go all the way into here. And that's just distance. That's just, this is on that block and this is on this block. There's 2 blocks difference. So maybe we need 2 of these. Like maybe this has to come out again here, like that. Just to throw some random blocks up. Just that's not bad. Having big panels like that. Sets of 3. I think that kind of works. We'll change the material. That is going to be tricky. That is right up against the outside. That's where I wish we had vertical slabs. That would be very handy. Cool. Well, I mean, decent progress. This is a huge project, so some weeks we only get partway through what we need to get through, but not bad. Well, speaking of weeks, thanks very much, folks. I really appreciate all the support and for everyone for hanging out. Let's see. We've got a few folks that are doing things. Let's do a raid to False Symmetry. It's always a good shout to go over and hang out with False. I will be recording a new episode of the Spawn Chunks on Monday, talking about Snapshot 7 and some of the new things. Baby villagers and baby mobs, baby hostile mobs have been updated. And there should be a new episode of the Citadel Cafe recording next Wednesday. So you can look forward to that in the Discord. We're going to be talking about the Muppet Show and maybe something else. We'll have to see what I can watch between now and then. Thanks ever so much for the modding today, Nadila and to SweetSandi. Appreciate it. And for the modding all week, appreciate it. And I will see you Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday is the next stream. Probably back here in Minecraft because that's usually what I do on Tuesdays. In the meantime, if you want to join the Discord, it's patreon.com/JoelDuggan for $2 a month and a great way to support me and join the community. I will see you later. Bye for now.